So when you watch a little baby, you'll see their posture is perfect. They move perfectly. Everything is from the center. They don't focus on reaching down like that. They'd rather put their arms back like little wings. And watching my little baby girl, she puts her arms back and she goes down and she reaches, she gets down there. And I think with the modern lifestyle, we try to avoid getting down close to the ground. I mean, if you go to the east where people are squatting a lot, their backs are much healthier than ours. They're much stronger, their cores are much stronger, which is why in Chinese philosophy, this is a dantian. This is where your power comes from. That's what you have to focus on for strength and stability and ease of use and comfort. So here are some very quick, easy, simple tips about the best neutral position. You want to stand with your feet, with your toes facing straight ahead of you and directly under your hips. A lot of people favor one side or another. You'll see if you have that conversation with your body, which leg do I lean on? Where do I rest that weight? And if you're resting weight on one leg, a compromise is happening somewhere else. A weakness is developing, and if that's your habit every day, it's going to start to affect the rest of your spine, which then affects the rest of your body, all the fascial tissue, chaos. You want to have that conversation where you ask, what's the most relaxed position? Heels directly under your hips, and you want to find a way that the upper body is almost sitting on a carriage on that middle. The center is just carrying the upper body around, and then you can do other things while you're in your carriage. So you're standing straight, your feet are straight ahead of you. To relax a little bit more, you can do a spine roll down. Nothing forced, very relaxed. If you're too stiff, then you don't want to push anything, but you drop your chin down, float all the way down to the bottom, relax, and come up again. What you want to do to find the best neutral position is to lean back on your heels so that you're almost about to fall backward, and then stay there. Just relax in that position and focus on your lower body and just relax it. Have the conversation, ask your knees, are you fine, are you comfortable, where does it hurt? And if you find pain anywhere, just ask what would help that. What would relieve that pain? Then you want to lift up the rib cage, the sternum, without hyperextending, without pushing forward. It's more of a relaxed lifting up, and definitely you don't want to round this out. So you're standing back on your heels. The next thing that you want to focus on is your shoulders. Some people have their shoulders rolled forward, some pull their shoulders back. The middle of the body, the center of balance, is where your ears are. That's where the spine meets the skull. So you want your arms to just sit there balanced. It helps sometimes to move your hands backward. In Tai Chi, they practice this, just to relax it a bit, and then you can move it forward. Remember not to hyperextend, to engage this part of your core. Engage it, but don't pull tight, just so that you feel the muscles about to pull, like a cat about to spring. And then the last thing is to pull just on the top, just before it goes around the knob. And as you pull that up, you can feel your spine elongating from the coccyx all the way up to the top. Injury. Now ideally, when you sit, you actually want to change your position as much as possible. Any fixed position in terms of the spine and the body cancels that conversation. It's almost like if you're sitting at your computer and you're hunched over, your spine is saying please move, and you're just saying no, I got to finish this, which is ending the conversation. After years of doing that, you cause injury and you're going to regret it for the rest of your life. If you can, you want to get one of those balancing boards, and they've got little half circle balls on the bottom, and you can sit on that on your chair. If you look at the Gokale technique, ideally when you sit, you actually want to be sitting with your knees lower than your sit bones, lower than your hips. We kind of believe that we sit here, like this is our seat, but that's not our seat. We have very convenient sit bones right here in the center, so that's your seat. You want to sit on that and have your knees slightly lower than your bum. And that is the best position if you're going to sit in any position. Right. But if you are sitting on a normal chair, avoid falling into it. As we were saying about the attitude of it, you're just kind of telling your body, yeah, it doesn't matter. You want to kind of be like a ninja, like a samurai. You want to be aware. And when you sit, point your sit bones all the way to the back of the seat before you relax down into it. You want to make sure that your bum is all the way back. You'll notice babies do this naturally. Babies always make sure that they're fine. They always push their bum back and then they sit down. The best thing for your spine, take a towel, roll it up, like that. Place it just there in that concave area of your back and sit back like that. And what happens is that spine, which is naturally curved, is being supported. Again, you can lift the back of the head and feel the comfort there and straighten up, but without tension, without rigidity. Walking is fundamental. At the moment, my weight is on my left side and my right is slightly out. I want to full support. You turn it in, you make sure your toes are facing straight ahead of you. The ideal way to walk is actually to lead with the back of your buttocks. So you want to use the center of your body to lead you through into any space, into any situation, and that will be perfect posture. And an example of that, you imagine someone takes a hook and they put it in your cheek and they pull you around and you walk around the space. You lead with your mouth, or someone grabs a hook to the back of your head, leads you around by the back of your head. That's what you're leading with. Ideally, you want to lead with those hooks in your buttocks. That doesn't mean that you push forward. That means that the hooks are there and your buttocks are moving you around. Your buttocks are engaged, the carriage, and you're not pulling the car forward with this, which isn't even touching the ground. You don't want to be leading with the back of your neck or your chest. That's just going to cause injury later on. In terms of this posture, and like we said, attitude, the most ease of use. You want the most comfort. So if you're engaging your bum, make sure at the same time you can breathe. You don't want to engage your bum and not be breathing here. Relax this. And it's a little bit of a contradiction because you're relaxing your diaphragm enough for the natural pull of the lungs, stretch them out and allow your rib cage to open up. But you also don't want to loosen this so much that you're kind of dropping that forward and then over bending your spine in that direction. That's also going to cause some injury. The last thing that I wanted to talk about is lifting heavy objects. All my life I'd been told to bend the knees, and it just didn't make sense to me because I thought, okay, I'm bending my knees, how does this work? Until I started doing Eric Goodman's foundation training, which I highly recommend to everybody. There's going to be a link to his online training just to help you strengthen your back, and it really assists in posture. It really gets the right attitude into your spine, into your body, and those muscles that have been lazy for years and years. So in terms of lifting, if you lift something heavy, you actually want to send your bum all the way back. You don't want your knee over your toes ever in terms of going down to lift something heavy. You want your knees to be directly above your ankles. And then what balances that is the upper part of the body. Let's just pretend that this is heavy. So you bend down to lift it like that. And at first, if you just started doing this, you'll feel that your back gets a little bit tired quickly. But over time, especially if you do the foundation training, you strengthen that lower back and you discover just how powerful that movement is. You really want to flatten your spine here, not rigid, but engaged, fully engaged. And you'll find you can lift almost twice as much as you did when you were lifting like this. Because this is just bending that spine, losing all the power in your back, and most importantly, all the power in your midsection. Because these massive muscles here, the biggest muscles in your body, that's what you want to use to lift anything, from small to big. Cool, so that's it. Those are just a few things I wanted to show you in terms of posture. As I like to say, your attitude of movement. If you have those conversations with your body on a constant basis, you will discover where your niggles are coming from, where your pains are originating in your body. And when you can cure those injuries, when you can work through those scars, those memories, and clean them out, you'll heal so much faster than you thought possible. And I really do wish that for you. I wish ease of use and relaxation and power. And that's it. Thanks.